All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at the scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying fly, Eagles, fly as they get ready to match up with the New York Giants. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now Loletta on first down. And his throw is incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and that'll bring up second down.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56. Here we go now. Green 39, green 39. All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56. Watch it now, Barney, Barney.
And Loletta just beating the play clock. Looking for his receiver, sharp, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. They were ball hawks last week. They had a trio of interceptions on defense. In the first drive, they pick up right where they left off.
They're creating quite a reputation for themselves, aren't they? And sometimes what happens is when they know that the defense can take the ball away, as they saw.
And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. Alec Ogletree. In from his linebacker spot, he's able to drop him for a loss of about 10. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Now Wentz. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Here we go,
On play action, Wentz. Looking for Tate, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Now Saquon Barkley, a man who played collegiately here in the Keystone State. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56. Gone, 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 gone. Gone, 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 gone.
Loletta looking to throw on 2nd down. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Giants. Corey Coleman, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Giants are going to take a first quarter lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And all.
Rosas now to kick this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Hey, ram. Go. 120. Two gen.
Play action. Now Wentz. Incomplete. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and 4.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down.
Down in man inside. Down in man.
And now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Go. 180. Check 31. Get over there. Go.
Working from the gun, Wentz, and almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And Charles, if the season November, but they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. Yeah. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Set. 3-19.
On 1st and 10, Lauletta. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. A big play there for the Giants. 51 yards.
I don't know about you, but I haven't met a receiver yet that doesn't like to run post routes.
And Odell Beckham Jr., he loves post routes, doesn't he?
He really does, and I think the reason he's so successful with them, as we just saw there, is the intensity with which he runs the route. I mean, even when you know it's coming and you're covering it well, his intensity seems to win the day for him.
A 1st down carry for Barkley, and he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
56. Lucky 56. Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll fake it. Now Lauletta. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the third time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
All right, here we go. Green 39.
The pitch goes to Barkley. He's got the first down inside the 10, and he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley, touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Giants are able to grow their lead. Rosas good with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Rosas now to kick this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Here we go. Blue 80.
They fake the give. Now Wentz. And it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
The toss out to Barkley, and he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage with a flag down here to boot. So they may back up further. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. After the penalty, they go with Barkley. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. That one good for 14 yards. And it's a 2nd down. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Here's Lauletta now on 2nd. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Timmy Jernigan breaking through to get him for a loss of 7. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. On 3rd down, Barkley. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there. It looked good when it left his foot, but he kind of sliced it a little bit, and he winds up missing it wide right.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 right at the 30.
Hey, we got 3 down. 120! 555!
They'll begin the drive with a jive. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. This is a giant, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Watch tight end. Hey, guys, check me out. We got 3. Here we go. 120.
Here's a giant. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this ball is going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot. And now out come the Giants. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try.
And no doubt about it, because they were counting on those points. In today's NFL, let's face it, that's really a chip shot, right?
That's anything inside 40.
Yeah, they're counting on that going through the post. But we've seen it happen to teams before. Some of the best kickers in the world can miss kicks like that. Can they come back now and redeem themselves?
Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56.
Lauletta looking for a 1st down throw. And this one is incomplete. The Pro Bowler Odell Beckham, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
I'm laughing to myself because I could just hear in film session. But, Coach, I was throwing it to Odell Beckham Jr. Of course I thought he was open.
They'd love to go deep downfield to him, though. Such a threat.
Yeah, a rare incompletion because most of the time we expect him to actually come up with the catch.
Lauletta again here on 2nd and 10. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Nigel Bradham, the linebacker, right there on the coverage.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Out of the gun, Lauletta. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. 23 yards on the play.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. Lauletta now to throw it. forced out to his... And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Michael Bannon coming hard that time. He's able to run him down for a loss of 20. Huge loss on the sack. Makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
A shotgun snap to Lauletta. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
3-19. Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the gun, here's Lauletta. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. He's got a man, complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. They chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on 3rd down. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90! He's mine, he's mine, he's mine!
After the run, Lauletta now going to throw. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. The Giants on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11.
Now let's go! 3-19! 3-19! Safety creep!
Now it's Lauletta. He finds Beckham complete. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
3-19! Detroit! Detroit!
On 1st down, Lauletta. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Line of scrimmage, again, the 25, 2nd and 10. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5.
Gone! Hurry up, here we go. 3:19.
They go back to the ground now with Barkley. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 4 yards on the play, and that will lead us into the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This a 33-yard attempt. And Rosas puts this one through. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Even. 4 down. 120. 552.
Yeah, let's get a sack lunch.
Hey, stack.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
The Eagles on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 14.
Go.
Now a play fake. Wentz. Escaping the pressure right. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Fielded at about the 28. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added onto their lead. But that was a drive that was so long, it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game. But we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive. And he's going to profess that he was happy to get points. And we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, after this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment.
Detroit! Watch it now, Barney!
Lauletta on 1st down. Flushed out right. Looking for Shepard deep. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
All right, here we go. Green 39! Green 39! Detroit! Gun!
Back to the air, Lauletta on 2nd down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here, 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. That throw good for 4. It's second down. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
Tight end right. Set. 120. 3 down. Lion. Shift.
Now Wentz throwing on second down. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Here we go. 180!
Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver.
Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. The Eagles into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and goal to go at the 7.
Watch 19.
Here we go. Back man. 280! 46 down, man. 5-4.
Joker.
From the gun, it's Wentz. Eluding the pressure right. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. Golden Tate, his intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And the kick by Elliott is good. So we come upon halftime here with the visiting Giants out on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Rosas now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the 3rd quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out.
Here we go. 280!
Watch the backer.
Here, sit.
Hey.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So after the run by Jay Ajayi, here's 1st and 10.
Hey,
Here we go. 280!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Josh Morrow on the stop.
And while there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
Tight, guys, double tight. 4 down, check.
There we go, back man. 120. Here, shift.
Check, 52's the light. Let's go, defense.
On play action, it's Wentz. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Olivier Vernon in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
We got 3.
Hey, 57, 57.
Kill. Mike 55, Mike 55, Mike 55.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the 3rd quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Going for the deep ball. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Corey Coleman. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Giants add on to their lead. PAT up and good by Rosas. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Rosas now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? Well, a lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Wentz now on 1st down. Caught right side, Tate. And this will get him all the way inside the Giants' 10. A big play there on the catch and run. 66 yards. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. They run with Ajayi. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. They'll come out in the pistol. Shotgun now for Wentz. Toward the pylon, caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal. On 2nd and goal, Ajayi, the lone man in the backfield.
Here we go. Waiting. Check. Good chip.
Here's Wentz to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Landon Collins. And they get the football, but not much on the return here as he stopped at the 7-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
They'll try and get this run game going. This is Barkley. And nothing but daylight ahead. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Giants. Saquon Barkley, 93 yards. And the Giants are able to grow their lead. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Rosas good with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Single, slots.
Here we go. Back man. 180.
Play action. Now Wentz. They'll roll him out right. On the run, he'll let this go deep. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Janoris Jenkins. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield that gets intercepted.
4 down.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Here we go now.
And Lauletta just beating the play clock. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. So let's check in with our referee. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They keep it with Barkley on 1st down. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
Gun!
You got three down, three down.
All right, here we go. Green 39, green 39. Gun!
It's our time. It's our time.
Throwing on third down, Lauletta. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Malcolm Jenkins. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30.
Ram.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. And he can't get away from the pressure the Giants get there. Olivier Vernon in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
Tight is right.
Here we go. 120. Two jet.
5-2 is the Mike. Mike 5-2.
Working from the gun, Wentz. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. Trying to lay one up deep. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off right around the 43 and to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Barkley, toss play left. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They'll go to Barkley again. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
The Giants on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Lauletta to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Here's Riley Dixon now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Breaks a tackle. 31 yards on the punt there. And the Eagles will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. And out now come the Eagles. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. They'll start out on the ground with a Jai. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
We got 4. We got 4.
Set, lady.
Mike, 55. Right there.
They run again with a Jai. And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
Here we go.
On play action, Wentz. And they're going to sack him again. The 5th time they've gotten him today, and this one results in a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in them. Did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead? And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take.
And it's a fumble. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. The Giants on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Let's go. Blue 90.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 13 yards that time at a first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They go play action here on 1st down. Wide open receiver complete. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there. And often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. PAT up and good by Rosas. And that will extend this big lead.
The Giants is lined up for the kickoff. Number 43, waiting to return.
Rosas now to kick this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Double tight. 4 down.
Now it's a Giant. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Now Carlos Hyde in the game. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Giants, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, their luck may have run out as they fall to 4-7 now on the year. And they'll be back home next week for a date with the Washington Redskins. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.